Welcome to TheSpeechCoach.pro, where you can learn to speak perfect British English. This is your voice and speech toolkit. We've developed simple, effective and fun speech and accent training webinars for people who want to speak standard, neutral, RP British English. This mastery program gives you everything you need to learn and maintain excellent speech. This webinar is for you if you are self-conscious and insecure about the way you speak, if you're frustrated that your accent is not perfect, if you're annoyed by constantly being asked, "Where are you from?" or "Sorry, could you say that again?" if you're criticized for your presentation skills, if you're keen to acquire all the building blocks of excellent speech. You may be someone who's interested in perfecting your neutral British English accent. You might want to soften your existing accent. Perhaps you'd like to correct a speech impediment or fault. Perhaps you'd like to brush up your presentation skills, your public speaking. You might even be making a best man speech and you're terrified. Perhaps you'd like to learn other accents. Well, I can give you the building blocks which, when you switch them about, can become all sorts of other accents. Perhaps you'd like to learn period speech. You're an actor in a period play. Maybe you're an American actor and you'd like to learn an English accent. Maybe you're from anywhere else in the world and you'd like that cut-glass English accent. Perhaps you'd like to learn more about voice and speech and apply it to voiceover work. What led me to this webinar? For over 20 years now, I've worked as a professional actor, presenter and voiceover artist. In recent years, more and more people have been asking me to coach them because they feel that the way they speak has been holding them back and limiting their chances, both professionally and personally. They wanted to improve their speech for their jobs, their prospects and their personal self-confidence, and it's been my pleasure to help them unlock their potential. Here are some of the things I've done as a professional speaker. I trained as an actor at the Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art, where I gained an honours diploma. My training included extensive voice, speech and phonetics. I've recorded over 100 audiobooks, and authors include Ben Elton, Arthur Conan Doyle, Wilkie Collins, Santa Montefiore, Boris Johnson and Muriel Spark. I've worked extensively as a voiceover artist for brands including Barclays Bank, Volvo, RBS and PwC. For the PS3 game Wonder Book of Potions from J.K. Rowling, I am the voice of the wizard Zygmunt Budge. For various film and TV projects, I've even taught leading actors to speak backwards fluently. For the Longman Pronunciation Dictionary, I recorded many of the guide pronunciations working with Professor J.C. Wells. Professor Wells was kind enough to give me a testimonial. My Longman Pronunciation Dictionary is a prescribed textbook for English courses at leading universities in Poland, Argentina, Japan and elsewhere. It includes a sound file of every entry in the dictionary, nearly 100,000 words and phrases. Glenn Macready demonstrated that he had been well trained phonetically and could follow the phonetic transcriptions accurately. He was fully competent to achieve what we needed. I am very happy to recommend him for any similar project. His skills as a voice teacher are underpinned by a solid training in phonetics. I've also worked with the presenter and actress Gabriel Bradshaw. She came to me because she needed to learn an American accent for a play she was in, and here are some of the things that she said about my teaching methods.
Learning from Glenn was easy because he fed me exactly the nuggets of information I needed, no more, no less. They say that knowledge is power, and I certainly feel empowered after my lessons with Glenn.
So here's an overview of the course. We will teach you standard, neutral, RP British English. In the first webinar, I will cover the 5 long simple vowels or monophthongs. In the second webinar, we will look at the 7 short simple vowels or monophthongs. In the third webinar, we will combine what we've learnt so far to make the 13 compound vowels, those vowels in 2 or 3 parts. In the fourth webinar, we will look at the consonant sounds. And finally, in the fifth webinar, we will put it all together. We will look at modulation, articulation, projection, how to avoid monotony, how to create emphasis, gravitas, and many more tips and tricks. Finally, you'll have the opportunity to send me a short recording so that I can evaluate and advise you. So to give you a little more detail about the first webinar, how many of you already know that there's more to speaking the English vowel sounds than simply A, E, I, O, and U? Would you be surprised to learn that there are, in fact, 25 distinct vowel sounds in spoken English? But don't panic, 13 of these sounds are made by combining the first 12. Sounds that we'll focus on in the first webinar are E as in heat, U as in soon, OR as in forms, as in firm, and R as in glass. In webinar 2, we will look at the 7 short simple vowels, and those sounds are A as in that, E as in set, I as in is, O as in not, A as in much, U as in good, and the neutral vowel or schwa in the second syllable of setter. It just sounds like setter. I will take you through specific exercises for each vowel and show you how to avoid common faults along the way. In the third webinar, things really do start to get exciting. We now use the building blocks as outlined in the previous webinars to create the compound vowels, or vowels which comprise 2 or 3 sounds. When you nail these sounds, that's when you really start to transform the way you speak. They are the 8 diphthongs in 2 parts, and they comprise ow as in how, as in dare, A as in Jane, I as in cry, as in poor, O as in old, oi as in boy and voice, and the sound in the word hear, ear as in hear. Also, we will learn the 5 triphthongs. Again, don't panic. These 5 sounds are made by adding the neutral vowel or schwa to the ends of 5 of those diphthongs. So, for example, ow plus gives us hour, as in by the hour. I'll also take you through specific exercises for each vowel combination and show you how to avoid common faults along the way. And as an added bonus, I will mention how we can start to create or identify various different accents by simply recombining and reshuffling our vowel building blocks. In webinar 4, we go into more detail about the precise formation of consonant sounds. We'll cover common mistakes and see that some consonant sounds can have an adverse effect on certain vowel sounds. We'll show you how to prevent this. We will cover speech impediments, which are the result of habit, and some speech faults that can develop out of the blue, and we'll give you techniques to prevent or overcome them. In webinar 5, this is where we start to explore speech in practice, how to combine everything that you've learned so far to transform the way you speak. How to make your speech clearer, louder, and more interesting to listeners. We'll give you some text to record as audio and send back to us. Then I will personally assess you and let you know your areas of excellence, which is very important, and tell you the areas you need to work on. So, you now know that I'm offering you an opportunity to totally transform the way you speak that will change your life for the better. Maybe you haven't done any speech training before because you thought it might be too scary. So what should you do right now? Let me show you. You're going to receive step-by-step instruction on how to totally transform your spoken British English right now. It won't be scary. I've learned from my countless students that my teaching method is accessible and fun. The greatest benefit of the Voice and Speech Toolkit is that you will finally be able to speak the perfect British English that you've always wanted to, and with a confidence that will change your life. Could you learn these skills another way? I believe that my 20+ years of experience have enabled me to create a unique webinar teaching system, which not only makes learning effective and fun, but more importantly, it clearly shows you all of the simple but vital steps you must take to transform your speech. Only then will you gain the life-changing confidence that this knowledge has given to so many of my past students. I believe there is no comparison.